Hello everyone. Today we're going to talk about a romance drama film called 365 Days, This Day, from 2022. Enjoy your viewing. Laura from Poland finds herself in the same tunnel she entered at the end of the first part of the film. She managed to survive, but lost her baby. She didn't have time to tell Massimo about her pregnancy, and he was happy because his beloved was alive. They decided to get married, and before the wedding, Massimo dropped by Laura's place to make love right on the table. Olga saw them doing this. She chased her husband away, handed her friend a lot of underwear to choose from, and went to the ceremony. Massimo and Laura were married in a church. Then the celebration began. When the husband and wife were alone, Laura tied Massimo to a chair to cheer him up. She undressed, took a battery-powered device, and began to pleasure herself in front of her tied-up husband. Finally, Massimo could not stand it any longer and joined her. Meanwhile, Domenico walked in on the girl while she was taking a bath. Olga was offended by him because he did not pay attention to her. However, Domenico managed to win back her affection, and they did things together. In the morning, Laura appeared in front of Massimo in a new look. Her hair was long and dark again. Massimo liked it, and they went about their usual daily routine. First, there was golf, where Laura put her hole under Massimo's balls. Later, they went horseback riding and had fun in the pool. Domenico and Olga kept up with them, though their love games were more sophisticated. Olga turned her partner's body into a cake and wanted to lick it. But then Massimo and Laura came in and interrupted their experiments. Massimo picked up Domenico because they had work to do, and sent his wife and her friend for a walk. Laura immediately turned on the bad girl mode and started to lash out at her husband for treating her like a thing. She can't live without doing anything. However, then she thought about it and decided that this was not such a bad option. She went with Olga to a restaurant. They had a really good time. After returning home, Laura put on her most beautiful lingerie and offered herself to her husband. Massimo was not confused and began to work hard. In the morning, Laura wanted to repeat their evening workout, but Massimo's phone rang. He had work to do, so he left his wife alone and walked away. Laura went to Olga's house and again interfered with her intimacy with Domenico. The latter was just engaged in deep-sea diving with Olga. The two friends went for a ride and some fun. Despite the fact that their lives had changed a lot, they still remained faithful to each other. They were ready to go through fire and water together. The main thing was that they continued to be provided by the Sicilian Mafia. When they arrived at a small restaurant, Massimo showed up right away. He took Laura and Olga away, and this made the girls angry. In the evening, Laura expressed her dissatisfaction to her husband. She would not allow him to control her and tell her what to do. Having expressed all her grievances, Laura was left alone. Suddenly, a Greek god appeared in front of her. There is no other way to describe it, because he looked like Apollo. His name was Nacho, and he worked for Massimo as a gardener. Laura would have loved for him to trim her bushes, but she was married, so she was content with lustful glances. After a while, Christmas came, and Laura and Massimo had a very successful celebration. Massimo realized that his wife was bored because he was constantly busy with family affairs, so he gave her a brand of his own clothes. This way, Laura would always have something to do, and she would stop nagging him. Domenico didn't screw up on Christmas either. He asked Olga to marry him. All in all, the holiday was a success. Laura was so grateful to Massimo for the gift that she gave him everything she had, that is, her body. She laid out a whole arsenal of toys for drilling mines on the bed and invited her husband to use them for their intended purpose. Massimo was not confused and took full advantage of his gift. When they were done, they went to bed to talk. It was not a good idea. Massimo got to talking and told Laura that he had a brother. Laura started to get angry again and blamed her husband for not telling her about his brother earlier. Finally, Massimo had to leave. Laura plunged into high fashion and then went to a ball with her husband. Her parents also came there. Laura still resented Massimo, and she showed him this with her whole appearance. But with her parents, she was nice and polite. She wanted to understand how they kept their love alive even after many years of marriage. It turned out that the secret was in compromises. It is important to give in to your loved one from time to time, otherwise nothing will work. This option works for Laura. She notices Massimo with a woman on the balcony and follows them. Suddenly, she sees her husband cheating on her. Laura is confused, and instead of resolving the issue on the spot, she runs away. Nacho notices her in the yard and offers to help. Laura asks him to take her away. He starts driving his boss's wife to his house. On the way, Laura calls her mom and says that she is fine. Then she throws away the phone so that no one can find her. At home, Nacho started to prepare breakfast for his guest. He gives her his sister's clothes and tells her that he is not seeing anyone. Instead, his sister found a life partner and even got pregnant with him. Hearing about the pregnancy, Laura is overwhelmed by memories and she drops her glass. Nacho takes her in his arms and carries her to a safe place to prevent her from hurting her legs. After listening to her daughter's message, Laura's mother attacks Massimo without explanation and hits him in the face. However, he does not understand why he is being beaten, because he has not done anything to Laura. Moreover, he has no idea where she went. The abundance of aggressive Poles in his life begins to stress Massimo, and he decides to solve this puzzle and punish the guilty, because he is a mafia man after all. While he is fretting over his wife's disappearance, Laura is relaxing on the beach, admiring Nacho's toned torso. In the evening, they watch a movie in a romantic setting, and a spark flashes between them. Massimo is already dating his ex. After talking to Anna, he realizes that she is involved in Laura's disappearance and promises to punish her for it. Anna starts to get nervous. It turns out that Massimo has an evil twin brother, Adriano. Anna meets with him to discuss the situation. They are told that Laura has left with Nacho. This is bad news, so Adriano eliminates the man who brought them the news. Massimo finds out that Laura is living on the island with Nacho. He knows who the gardener really is, and realizes that getting his wife back will not be easy. Meanwhile, Laura goes to bed and dreams of Nacho. He kisses her in different places, bringing her to the finish line. But suddenly an unknown man tries to enter her room. Suddenly Nacho appears and knocks the stranger down. Laura thinks that the gardener has eliminated him, but Nacho says that the attacker is still alive and will be turned over to the police. Laura begins to realize that Nacho is not a gardener, and he confirms that he has secrets that he is not going to share yet. Nacho says that the fancy house and sports car belong to his father. He's taking her out for some fun. He and Laura go jet skiing and relax on an abandoned beach. The next day, they meet Nacho's sister, and while the girls are talking, he goes to talk to an unknown man. Judging by what Laura saw, the conversation turned out to be very unpleasant. After the conversation, Nacho went into the sea and began to hit the waves in anger. After that, he and Laura go swimming. Nacho teaches her how to ride a surfboard, and then they kiss in the sea. In the morning, Laura wakes up from another pleasant dream, in which Nacho makes her happy. But it turns out to be just a dream, and the real Nacho is standing next to her, watching Laura feel good. In the evening, Nacho tells Laura that they have to meet with his father. Massimo will be present at this meeting. Nacho tells them that his real name is Marcello Matos, and he is the son of the head of a mafia clan that rivals Massimo's clan. Marcello and Laura get ready to go to the meeting. At the entrance, Laura is taken away by the leader's bodyguards, and Nacho goes into the house. Here, Matos explains to Massimo that he was involved in the accident in the tunnel where Laura lost her baby. He wants to tell Massimo to respect the boundaries of the Matos family. However, Massimo didn't get the hint, and that's why Laura ended up with Nacho. Matos threatens Massimo to make him obedient, but his plan is ruined when he learns that Laura has been taken by strangers. He realizes that someone has intercepted his family's main trump card, so he goes to rescue the girl, taking Massimo with him. The two mafiosi arm themselves and go in search of Laura. At this point, she finds out that Massimo has an evil twin brother whom she mistook for her husband, and that Massimo was not actually cheating on her. Adriano says that he's going to get rid of Massimo and become the head of the family. Anna is also involved in this. She comes to the same place to tell him that she is taking revenge on Massimo for leaving her. However, their plans are not destined to come true because Massimo and Nacho find them. Adriano threatens Laura with a gun and acts like a madman. Massimo is afraid to shoot because he might hit his beloved. Adriano tells him that Laura lost a child in the accident. He shocks his brother with this news. At this point, she manages to break free and runs to Massimo. Anna shoots at her, but the bullet hits her side, which means that Laura will live. Anna and Adriano were less fortunate. They were immediately eliminated for life. But then Nacho turned the gun on Massimo. Despite all the hostility that arose between them, Nacho does not eliminate the head of the enemy family. He puts the gun down and walks away. Massimo remains with Laura, who is bleeding on the stone floor. This is where the movie ends. If you have watched the video so far, you should know that I am happy to have viewers like you. Thank you for watching to the end. Subscribe to the channel and follow the news. Klontsak Recapped was with you. See you soon.